Your cat has been sending you messages every single day. Not the obvious ones, not the purring or the head bumps you already know about. The other ones, the ones that behaviorists spent years trying to decode, and when they finally did, it changed everything we thought we understood about the cat-human bond. Here's what's strange, though. Most of these signals, they look like nothing. A slow blink. A specific way your cat positions its tail when it walks into a room. The exact moment it chooses to turn its back on you. And here's what nobody tells you. Some of them are so subtle, you've been receiving them for years and completely misreading them. We're going to fix that today. But first, there's one signal on this list that almost every cat owner has been interpreting as indifference. And it turns out it's the opposite. Cats have a reputation problem. For centuries, we've called them aloof, independent, emotionally unavailable. And honestly, we built that story ourselves. Because we kept trying to read cats through a dog lens. We expected wagging tails and obvious enthusiasm. When cats didn't deliver that, we decided they didn't care. But in 2019, researchers at Oregon State University ran a landmark attachment study. They placed cats with their owners in an unfamiliar room, separated them briefly, then reunited them, the same protocol used to study human-infant attachment. The results were, by the researchers' own description, surprising. 65% of cats showed secure attachment behaviors. They used their owner as a safe base. They explored more confidently when their person was present. They regulated their own anxiety through proximity to a human they trusted. That's not aloof. That's attachment. Which raises a question nobody's asking loudly enough. If cats are capable of that level of bonding, what does it actually look like from the outside? Because it doesn't look like a dog's love. And that's exactly where we've been getting it wrong. And some of the signals on this list are so counterintuitive, researchers initially filed them in the wrong category entirely. Signal 1. The slow blink, but not the way you've heard it. You already know about the slow blink. It's been all over the internet. Blink slowly at your cat, and it means you love them. Except that's only half the story, and the half that's missing is the one that actually matters. Dr. Karen McComb at the University of Sussex published a study in 2020 that confirmed slow blinking does create positive emotional communication between cats and humans. But what the headlines missed was the directionality. It's not just that cats slow blink at you, it's that cats initiate slow blinking selectively. They choose who gets this look. Luna, a 6-year-old rescue tortoise shell, was studied as part of a multi-cat household. Her owner had 3 adult children who all interacted with her regularly. Luna slow blinked at exactly one of them, the one she slept nearest to, the one whose lap she chose, the one she sought out when frightened. The others, direct, unblinking eye contact, polite. But not this. So yes, slow blink back. But more importantly, notice who your cat initiates it with. That list is shorter than you think. And speaking of eye contact, there's a specific pupil behavior that happens only in trust situations, and it has nothing to do with light. Signal 2. The exposed belly, and why you're probably still getting this wrong before you reach out and touch it. Stop. The belly display is one of the most misunderstood signals in all of cat behavior. The internet version. Belly up means they trust you. Go ahead and pet it. The reality. Belly up means they trust you enough to be vulnerable in your presence. Those are not the same invitation. When a cat rolls onto its back and exposes its abdomen, it is showing you something deeply significant. The belly is the most defenseless region of their body. Showing it requires the complete absence of threat perception. It is neurologically a trust signal, not a touch request. Milo, a 4-year-old Maine Coon mix, does this every morning when his owner sits down for coffee. He walks in, rolls onto his side, belly out, and just exists in that position for about 90 seconds. His owner learned the hard way that petting the belly ended the ritual entirely. Now she just acknowledges him with a slow blink. Milo stays for the full 90 seconds. The signal isn't, touch me here. The signal is, I feel safe enough with you to be completely defenseless. But here's where it gets strange. There are cats who will only show the belly to people they've selected and actively hide the behavior from everyone else in the household, which tells us something fascinating about how cats track social relationships. Signal 3, tail position. The vertical question. Mark, most people know a high vertical tail means a happy, confident cat. What they don't know is that the question mark curve at the tip is a different signal entirely, and it's directed. A tail that's fully vertical with a slight hook or curve at the top isn't just happiness. It's a greeting that cats typically reserve for two categories: trusted companions and, in their social colonies, mothers. It originates in kittenhood, when kittens raise their tails to signal safety and willingness to interact with their mothers. When your adult cat walks toward you with that little question mark curve, they are, neurologically, treating you with the same relational coding as a trusted parent figure. Shadow, a sleek 3-year-old black cat, does this exclusively when his primary owner enters a room, not when anyone else does. His tail goes full question mark. The same tail that stays neutral or low when guests arrive. Pay attention to who gets the question mark. It's a very short list. Signal 4. The head turn away. This one breaks people's hearts until they understand it. Your cat is sitting near you. You look at them. They look at you, and then slowly turn their head away. Every instinct says rejection, disinterest, dismissal. The research says the opposite. Direct, sustained eye contact between cats is an act of dominance and threat. It's what hostile cats do before a confrontation. A cat who trusts you completely does something that seems backward. They break eye contact deliberately. They turn away. They expose the side of their face. This is a vulnerability display. I do not feel the need to monitor you as a threat. You are safe. The cats who are uncertain around you, they actually watch you more. Their eyes track you around a room. They stay alert. The cat who trusts you enough turns away because they've decided you don't require vigilance. Which brings us to a signal that's even more extreme and involves the most vulnerable part of a cat's anatomy. We'll get there. But first, signal 5, scent marking you. The cheek and the chin, you know what bunting is, the head bump. The cheek rub against your leg feels like affection, and it is. But there's a layer beneath the affection that most people miss entirely. Cats have scent glands concentrated in their cheeks, chin, forehead, and the base of their tail. When they rub these areas on objects, or on you, they are depositing pheromones, specifically the F3 facial pheromone fraction, the one associated with comfort, familiarity, and social bonding. This is chemically distinct from territorial marking. What this means, when your cat cheek rubs you, they are chemically filing you under mine and safe. But here's the part that changes things. Cats rub their cheeks on objects of comfort. They rub their chin on objects of ownership, and they rub their forehead, the area between their ears, on individuals they consider family. Notice where your cat makes contact. Cheek, comfortable with you. Forehead press, you're in a different category. And this is the part most people get completely wrong. Cats who mark you with their forehead aren't doing it for themselves. Studies suggest this behavior serves a social signaling function. They're marking you in a way that other cats can read. Signal 6. Sleeping position, specifically where they face. Cats are prey animals. Even fully domesticated, indoor cats carry neurological patterns shaped by millions of years of predator awareness. The direction a sleeping cat faces is not random. When a cat sleeps with its back to you, curled or stretched, facing away, it means they have classified you as safe enough to leave unmonitored at close range. This is one of the highest forms of trust a prey-wired animal can demonstrate. Luna, the tortoiseshell from earlier, spent her first year in her new home always sleeping facing the door, watching, aware. 18 months in, her owner noticed she'd started sleeping with her back to the room entirely, facing the wall, oriented toward her owner's side of the bed. Her owner described it as the moment she knew she'd made it, and behaviorally, she was right. Signal 7. The chirp-trill vocalization. Most cat vocalizations evolved for human communication. Cats in the wild rarely meow at each other after kittenhood, but there's one sound that's different: the chirp-trill. It sounds a bit like a rolled R merged with a short meow. It's the sound a mother cat makes to call her kittens, to direct attention, to say follow me or found something. When your adult cat chirp-trills at you, they are using maternal communication. They've filed you in a social category where this register makes sense. Milo does it every evening when dinner approaches, but he does it exclusively to his primary owner, not to other household members. Same dinner time, same food. Different person gets a different sound. The chirp-trill isn't just vocalization. It's category designation. And speaking of sounds, there is one cat vocalization that only emerges in genuine play situations with trusted individuals, and most owners have heard it without knowing what it was. Signal 8. Bringing you gifts. This one is well known, but universally framed wrong. The narrative. Your cat is bringing you dead things because it thinks you're a bad hunter. That's a charming story. It's not particularly supported. The behavior is more precisely understood as resource sharing. Specifically, sharing of cache prey or important objects with individuals classified as part of the social group. Cats in feral colonies share food with cats they have strong social bonds with. Indoor cats extend this to humans they've bonded to. Shadow once brought his owner a hair tie, the same one she'd lost 3 weeks earlier and assumed was gone. He deposited it at her feet, sat back and waited. This is a behavior that does not happen with strangers. It does not happen indiscriminately. It happens with the select people who exist in a cat's social mapping as worth including. Now forget everything you know about gift-giving behavior, because the next signal completely inverts the logic and involves a cat actively not doing something. Signal 9. The passive shadow. You've noticed this. You move to another room, and a few minutes later, your cat appears. Not urgently, not loudly. They just show up. The internet calls this clingy. Behaviorists call it proximity maintenance, the same behavioral mechanism identified in secure attachment studies. The cat is not anxious. The cat is not demanding. The cat has simply recalibrated their spatial awareness around your location. Research from the University of Lincoln found that cats do not show the same distress responses during separation from non-preferred humans as they do with preferred ones. They notice specific people leaving. They track specific people's movements. When your cat passive shadows you, they are not bored. They are enacting a preference. You are the preferred location. Signal 10. Grooming. Allogrooming, mutual grooming, occurs between cats who share strong affiliative bonds. In feral colonies, grooming clusters predict social relationships better than almost any other behavior. When your cat licks your hand, your arm, your hair, they are engaging in the same behavior they'd use to bond with a trusted colony member. It's not random. It's not just about salt on your skin. Luna spent 3 years as a solo cat before her owner adopted a second cat. For the first several months, Luna allo-groomed only her owner, not the new cat. The grooming extended to the new cat only after Luna had fully integrated her into her social circle. This matters because it tells us that cats have a mental model of their social group, and they actively decide who belongs to it. Signals 11 to 16. The 6 quiet ones. These are harder to catch, but once you know them, you'll see them everywhere. Signal 11. The ankle weave. A figure 8 pattern around your legs when you walk. Originates in kitten behavior with mothers, reserved for primary attachments. Signal 12. The soft paw press without kneading. Just a single paw placed gently on your arm or leg. Maintained for several seconds. Behaviorally, a contact check. You're still here. Signal 13. The forehead-to-forehead touch. When a cat approaches your face and presses their forehead lightly to yours, they are initiating the highest intimacy contact behavior in their social repertoire. This does not happen with strangers signal 14. Sleeping at your feet versus at your head. Feet. Trust with comfort distance. Head. Full integration. Cats who sleep at their owner's head have, neurologically, removed you from the threat monitoring zone entirely. Signal 15. The open mouth stare. Sometimes, after sniffing you, a cat will hold their mouth slightly open for a few seconds. This is the Feline response. They're processing your scent through the vomeronasal organ, the specialized olfactory structure that reads social chemical information. They're analyzing you, specifically how you've changed since they last checked. Signal 16, the interrupted grooming. Asterisk, your cat is grooming themselves, stops mid-lick, looks at you, and either continues or redirects to licking you instead. The redirect is the signal. It means they've just reclassified you as worth more attention than their own coat maintenance at that moment.
Signal 17, the one most people misread completely. Here it is.
The signal that almost no one interprets correctly. Your cat ignores you when you come home. You walk in the door. Your cat is somewhere in the apartment. They don't come running. They don't vocalize. They might glance up and look away. You feel, briefly, like you don't matter. Here's what's actually happening. Cats do not experience reunion the way dogs do, with visible, escalating arousal. That response pattern is actually linked to anxious attachment in both dogs and humans. The urgent, dramatic greeting is, in part, a stress response. A cat with secure attachment to you doesn't need the drama of your return to feel okay. They were okay while you were gone. They knew you were coming back. They are, in the language of attachment theory, regulated. The cat who looks up, acknowledges you calmly, and goes back to what they were doing. That's not indifference. That's the behavioral signature of an animal that trusts you so completely, trusts your return so completely, that your arrival doesn't require a recalibration of their emotional state. It's the highest compliment they know how to give. We've spent decades feeling slightly hurt by cats, wondering if we really mattered to them, measuring their love against a template it was never designed to fit. But look at what we just walked through. 17 signals, subtle, specific, selective. Your cat doesn't give the question mark tail to everyone, doesn't slow blink at the whole room, doesn't sleep turned away from just anybody. These signals exist because at some point, you made a decision that was invisible to you. 1,000 small moments of consistency, gentleness, presence, and your cat notices. They built a file on you. They ran the calculation, and you made the list. That's not less than what a dog gives you. It's different. It's slower to earn, harder to lose, and running on completely different emotional hardware. When a cat trusts you, it is a conclusion reached through evidence, not impulse. The question isn't whether your cat loves you. The question is whether you've learned to speak the language well enough to receive it. Start looking for the question mark tail, the forehead press, the calm, unbothered glance when you walk through the door. They've been talking to you this whole time, and if you want to know what your cat is actually communicating when they stare at nothing, the wall, the ceiling corner, that specific spot at 3 a.m., the science behind that is stranger than you think, and it has nothing to do with the supernatural